Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's movie review is another anticipated film that got delayed a year due to COVID-19. My anticipation for this sequel has been held throughout the movie's delays, so this is Kia's Reviews and this is my review of A Quiet Place Part 2.
It's okay. It's okay. We're okay. That's good. It's okay. That's where? Mom. Oh my God.
A Quiet Place Part 2 expands on the grounded reality in which its masterful predecessor began, introducing new characters and further developing the ones already close with the audience. This film opens perfectly, and as John Krasinski crafted in the first A Quiet Place, he gets hearts pounding almost immediately. Whilst the first movie dripped with tension the entire hour and a half, and it felt as if you had to hold your breath the entire time, this follow-up relaxes a little bit in order to develop its characters perfectly, so much so that it ends up feeling like a brilliant thriller rather than a frightening horror. This isn't to say that the tension isn't there this time, because it most certainly is, but I didn't feel like I had to hold my breath while watching in case I made a noise. A lot of reviews have praised A Quiet Place 2 for being one of the few sequels that was better than the original. I can completely see this point, as the story is much stronger here and the cast is phenomenal across the board. Whilst I enjoy the horror aspects of Part 1 more, I think as a well-rounded film, Part 2 actually pulled more off. Because Part 2 starts off exactly where the first movie left it, it's a seamless transition into this next chapter. It's an exciting new chapter too, given that the addition of Cillian Murphy to the cast was actually perfect. It's great to see that the sequel didn't mess up the reputation of the first one, mainly because the sound design was so much more varied in this film that it felt like it respected the sound design of Part 1. Same thing goes for the emotional value of both films, as there is a lot of time for people to continue caring about this family of survivors.
Ronnie, what do we got? We got units headed out there now. EMS and fire. Whereabouts? I think out by Walker's farm.
The only fault I had with Part 2 was that towards the final act, the story basically asked the audience to suspend their disbelief and let their imagination go with the story. The reason I had a problem with this was because of how realistic and grounded the setting of the first movie felt. Part 1 felt like a proper take on this kind of situation and not over-the-top science fiction horror like the Alien franchise. The supernatural elements, namely the Death Angels, felt like they were the only thing you had to accept with your imagination the first time round. However, this time, a lot more was added into this reality that it lost its realistic value by the end of the film. It's a little nitpick, but it just felt out of place for such a well thought out world. A Quiet Place Part 2 really is an experience to be had in cinemas, as everything about this movie truly makes it a standout cinematic experience. The film itself is a brilliant sequel with an excellent cast, airtight intensity, and thrilling scares. I really can see this franchise go even further with A Quiet Place Part 3, and I really hope that John Krasinski takes up the opportunity while he's freshly making new and good ideas with these stories. So I'm giving Part 2 a 9 out of 10. Thank you all so much for watching. Have you seen A Quiet Place Part 2? Let me know below. As always, be sure to have a look at my previous reviews of Cruella and Army of the Dead. This has been Kia's Reviews, signing off for now.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.